Now, welcome back. Thank you for coming over to this next video. So let's shift our focus and talk about the economic challenges that Zimbabwe grapples with. Chief amongst these are the concerns of the ongoing depreciation of the Zimbabwean dollar in relation to the US dollar. If you're new here, please don't forget to subscribe, like, also leave a comment and say something about what you're seeing. If you think Simon is ugly or Simon is speaking nonsense, please just say it. So the government, amid looking at all these challenges that it's facing in the depreciating economy, what does our government do? Presenting a groundbreaking development in Zimbabwe's financial landscape, the introduction to Zimbabwe's gold-backed digital tokens, or ZiGs, representing an intriguing advancement. Both individuals and corporations can now transact using the ZiG, offering a novel approach to digital finance. Hooray, right? Must be something to be celebrated. The utilization of the ZiG brings forth several critical points worth considering. So, the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe has announced that both individuals and businesses can now use the Zimbabwe gold-backed digital tokens, commonly known as the ZiG, for transactions. Even if you want to buy something like clothes or food, you can use it. So let's get into the most points to consider on this issue. The first one, to purchase the ZiG tokens, individuals or corporations have to visit their banks. So these tokens are denominated in milligrams and can be bought using either Zimbabwean dollar or the US dollar. It's a free world. You can come with your own Zimbabwean currency and invest into the ZiGs. Number two, the minimum purchase per ZiG tokens is $10 for an individual and $5,000 for corporations, or the equivalent to the Zimbabwean dollar. See, it's very generous of our leaders. Number three, so after acquiring the ZiG tokens, holders will have a dedicated ZiG account of, it's actually in milligrams, right? To their regular bank account, which means you can also have a bank account. So you'll be having a ZWL, Zimbabwean dollar account, ZiG account, US account, or US, they call it what? The Nostro account. So in Zimbabwe, you can actually buy anything with anything. And actually, you can go with the God. Yeah, you can go with the God to the bank. Users can make transactions also using their ZiG accounts on Swipe and online payments. The only question I have, is it going to be MasterCard or Visa? It's a good question. And also holders have flexibility of either to use their ZiG balances for day-to-day transaction or as a store of value. So after 180 days of vesting period, they can choose to redeem their ZiG holdings either in US dollars or in Zimbabwean dollars, depending on the preferences. Now, this is a very good point to note. So they're saying you can literally invest in the gold digital currency by putting in your money, buying the ZiGs. As how fluctuant the rate of the gold is as per the world standards, you can be able to get some money out of it to go and redeem, sell, buy and sell your gold. Wow, what a nice world we live in. Actually, Zimbabwe is one of the best countries in this case. ZiG will also be used as a pricing unit for goods and services, which means that you can actually go into a shop and say, I would like to buy 2 loaves of bread. Oh yeah, there are 0.015 ZiGs, which might be converted to maybe 0.002 milligrams of gold. Just imagine what a nice country it is. Zimbabwe, one of the first African countries to do this. Actually, I think maybe it must be the first African country to use gold as a token of exchange. The RBZ explained that the foreign currency pricing of ZiG will be determined by the London Bullion Market Association. Additionally, the ZiG price will be readily accessible through the RBZ websites and also social media platforms. Now, to be honest with you, this would have been a very good initiative for a country like Zimbabwe, which has no confidence in its currency. But with capital letters, right? In Zimbabwe, it's not really about policy. I think this is really not about policy. It's about policy implementation. So the government nature of corruption, I don't think people are in a position of entrusting their own hard-earned money into this whole project. The same way we have a constitution, but we don't have constitutionalism. Do you get it? Having a constitution doesn't guarantee you that the contents of the constitution are faithfully followed. If I'm or are upheld, that's the right word they say in political terms, right? So having a gold-bagged currency will not give us access to these gold coins. It's just been like that. Even the introduction to the current currency that they have, it has not been accessible, because this is the same thing that we always go back to. In Zimbabwe, you have to be doing other extra things or being related to someone to get access to these things. So at the end of the day, having a very powerful currency will not change anything, because access to those things will need you to be corrupt first for you to have access. Rather, we should have currency that is supposed to be given in the open for people to access it without having to know who has and who is not your friend. So the same way the banks are limited based on who is your friend, it's the same way it's going to happen once you have these gold tokens. We all need to be the president's friends for us to get these. And the most important thing again is trust. Do we trust the government that it has any goodwill with our financial security? We're talking about millions and millions that have been lost before because of trusting the same government. The government has shenanigans, and they always find these ways of taking money from people. And then when they do that, they wake up tomorrow and say, okay, your currency is no longer valid. Corruption that is there in the government. Can you really trust these zigs to be bringing any solutions to our financial wars or our economic wars? Nothing's going to happen. Actually, I'm not pessimistic. Well, I am pessimistic about it anyway. I think we're just going to be in for another ride. And I'm not wrong to feel like this, because it's always been the case. It's always been the case in the country. Anyways, let's move to segment 6, which is corruption accusations and legal cases. Now, in the realm of legal proceedings and corruption accusations, one prominent case has merited our attention. Specifically, the trial of the NASA ex-boss raises concerns about the governance, accountability, and also the rule of law. Now, this is Arthur Johnson Manasseh, former head of the National Social Security Authority, NASA. He resigned amid staggering corruption charges or allegations totaling over 30 charges. These allegations include gross inefficiency, willful disobedience of lawful orders, and theft or fraud. Choose what you want. The scandal has grave implications to Zimbabweans pensioners. I've always talked about pensioners, and the most sad part is the corruption and the mismanagement is going unchallenged. No one is following up these things. Last week I talked about Priska Mfumira and how the case is just being treated with a soft hand. And imagine this guy has been tasked with safeguarding the financial well-being of our pensioners, and he steals from them again, on top of the over 90 million scandal of Priska Mfumira. The charges against Manasseh are a span range of financial misconduct, including procurement violations, questionable property transactions, unauthorized withdrawals, and even misallocation of funds. He even bought 4 vehicles for personal use. Imagine how much one vehicle, with all these overpriced vehicles of the government, can be used to change the lives of the pensioners. Imagine how much we can do to change the lives of the pensioners. These women and men are dying of depression because of such mismanagement, and someone is walking right in the streets without even having any charge. Like, obviously this charge is just going to go in thin air. This not only erodes trust, but it also threatens the financial security of our countless pensioners who depend on NASA for their livelihoods. Now, moreover, Manasseh's alleged involvement in irregular appointments, improper investment, and unethical conduct highlight a pattern of mismanagement that has dire consequences to those relying on NASA service. Imagine, I can't stress this enough, honestly. I can't stress this enough. The painful truth is that the very institution that is meant to protect the interests of the pensioners appears to be the one tainted by corruption. It leaves them vulnerable and uncertain about their financial future. In a country that is grappling with economic challenges, these allegations add to the woes of the Zimbabwean pensioners who deserve better. And his resignation should serve as a stark reminder of the urgent need to address corruption within institutions. How do we sleep at night? I always ask this question. The plight of these pensioners in Zimbabwe is a painful reflection of the toll of corruption and how it can take on the most vulnerable members of the society. I think this whole issue makes me emotional. So, to encapsulate the discussion, Zimbabwe needs to confront the complex of tapestry of challenges encompassing economic instability, allegations of corruption, and the evolution of financial systems. We should stay informed, and we should also be engaged with issues that remain vital for our nation's progress. I think we really need to be active as youth, or else this country is just going to go to the dogs. Anyway, thank you for joining us today on Tavada Simon Says. We encourage you to delve deeper into these matters, share your insights, subscribe for a comprehensive update on Zimbabwe and global affairs. Your engagement fuels meaningful change. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, engage, reach out. Also follow me on Facebook, Tavada Simon Says, Twitter, Tavada Simon Says. Thank you. Bye.